Yes, I was hoping I could ask about your neighbors, the Griffins.
But you can't carry comics yet, me. All right. No, it's not all right.
Ain't that boy?
The Griffins are not to be trusted. These people are nothing but vile, cheap clients who got
And carpet and drink scheme.
Get that pure infernus away from me.
But you're not Master MPs.
That's all I want that. That's all I didn't quite catch that. Did you just tell me what I love? This dull, two-faced fuck. I love pancakes.
Hi, little fella. Is Meg Griffin here? No, she's not. Probably out scoring more rock. Sandy Bell for Child Services. We're placing this baby in a foster home. What?
For God's sake.
My black people, it's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody.
We are in a state of emergency. Prejudice. Wrote a song about it? Like to hear? Here it goes. Freedom.
To boldly go where no man has gone before. To boldly go where no man has gone before. Find the frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission: to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before.
To ring out in perfect harmony, Terry Ellis becomes the first of the divas to offer the world her singular sound. And she does just that on Southern Cat.
But let me preface my point with this story of Jeanette Salters, who renamed herself Mamalina Diop, and her sister, who named herself Nzinga Jana. They inherited some land, acquired the land in Ghana, and was murdered by the locals. Why? Because they were Americans. A few of the natives didn't feel it was right that foreigners had a right to that land. So, to go back to Africa Negro,
plumber's gonna help us.
At least Geico makes bundling your home and car insurance easy.
Which saves us a ton. For bundling babies, go to geico.com.
Smooth chocolate, crunchy hazelnut, lovingly layered and wrapped in gold.
Next up is Meg Griffin sporting her stylish, cool, brand new.
We are in a state of emergency. Prejudice. Wrote a song about it? Like to hear? Here it goes. Freedom.
race. Don't worry, Brian. I know how to handle this.
Sir, are you aware that you were going 50 in a... I'm gonna have to ask you to put your shirt down, sir.
Crap, I get the one straight cop in Rhode Island.
No! I want pancakes! God, you people understand every language except English. You quiero pancake. Don't they want pancake? Keep pancake!
Horrible guy. Pancakes must be straight for crack.
Peace, forever and always. I'm so Sister J. I'm so Sister D. And I just wanted to say thank you for all the people who helped to the medical coordinator from my uncle to me. And it has meant so much to us that you would help, because without you guys, his life would not be possible and we would not be able to come today right now. And I just want to say, for all of you that helped and that donated, I would really like to do a big thanks. And I hope I can meet you one day and say thank you in person. I love you guys. Okay.
It's all of yours. You were all working together just fine, but then you won that stupid trophy. You put some shiny hunk of metal before your own friendships.
Brian's right. Oh, we were so obsessed with that trophy, we lost sight of what was real.
Come on then.
Well, now we have a real problem with cinema.
That's right. Someone tipped off the cable company about our free Cinemax.
We will not be defeated by witch-doctor illusions.
Well, we're here to help, and we must get our baby back.
Let's do it!
Hey, my brother, you know I had to call you and thank you personally again. I cannot describe to you how happy I was to meet you in person, Myron. That was just like amazing.
Sarah, we have guests, and one of them is a homosexual.
Third place. God, it gives me hope to tell lies to strangers. When I get him home, I swear to God, I get a piece of that spine. Go, Chris.
Here we go again.
Story. Would you like to learn how to rap in German?
Why don't you teach her the Chinese girl? Or perhaps she could learn after her people in Bangkok country.
Anyway, I'm done. So, don't expect me to be on YouTube all the time, and because but none of you are helping me out. I have to go to work every day. I have to go to work, to make money, and none of y'all are dropping me $5 or nothing in my Cash App or nothing. So don't expect me to come on here making videos all the time, because that's not gonna happen. Like I said, it takes a lot of energy to come on here and talk and make videos and put together, presentations, and all of that takes time and energy. Don't expect me to come on here talking and carrying on.
I ordered this book, God is on Trial. I ordered this book from Amazon, and I must say I read it. It's very well written, very thought-provoking.
In a state of emergency. Prejudice. Want a song about it? Like to hear? Here it goes. Free your mind.
Smelly Hawaiian might move
No, you're never gonna get it. Never ever gonna get it. No, you're never gonna get it. Never ever gonna get it.
What the heck happened to that trophy anyway? I guess some mysteries are better left unsolved.
You just got it. I still see him here.
has a very serious problem. Not only does America have a very serious problem, but our people have a very serious problem. America's problem is
well, today's topic, self-destruction. It really ain't the rap audience is bugging. It's one of you suckers, ignorant brothers, trying to rob and steal from one another. You get caught in the mid. So to crush that stereotype, here's what we did. We got ourselves together so that you can unite and fight for what's right. Not negative cause. The way we live is positive. We don't kill our relatives. Pop, when it's shot through the brain. Headlines, front page, and raps the name. MC the light hit the state of my line. The black on black crime was way before time. Took a rough fight with a knife that's fight. Tried, but you died of trifling death when he left his very last breath. Was I slept, so watch your step. Back in the 60s, our brothers and sisters were hanged. How could you gang bang? I never ever ran from the Ku Klux Klan, and I shouldn't have to run from a black man. Cause that's
Funky fresh dressed to impress, ready to party. Money in your pocket, dying to move your body. To get inside, you pay the whole $10. Got safe with a razor blade, taped to your car. Leave the guns in the crack and the hour. MC lights over microphone, bum rushing and pushing, snatching and taxing. I can't understand why brothers don't be maxing. There's only one disco, I'll close one more. You ain't going the door.
Let's be honest. If black folks are going to get reparations, then they're going to need a 4-star general's approach to it. It will have to be approached in an organized, sustained, military-like way. A flamethrower of a man will have to be the keynote speaker concerning reparations. Brother Malcolm would have been the perfect man to go into the United Nations to pressure the power structure to give us reparations. But he's no longer with us. And his brothers who helped stop him haven't picked up the tab. They weren't serious. If reparations is going to be addressed, then a serious individual like this brother named Taalik Ibn'rad should be sent to the UN to speak before the General Assembly. Taalik has the qualifications to be taken serious. He's been consistent in his seriousness. He's a man that's not going to go into the UN and bite his tongue. He's going to express how he really feels. He won't modify his delivery. He won't flip the script, buck, bow, smile, and beguile. He'll let the power structure know how black people really feel and why they need restoration for the mental and spiritual destruction done to all of us. Go get him, wake him up in the middle of the night, and bring him to New York. He'll come in a clean but wrinkled undershirt with a loose-fitting collar. He might come in a robe, maybe in a suit. He might drive a truck to the UN. But you can rest assured, Taalik will be coming as himself. And once the world hears him, the fight for what black folks need will be over. It doesn't matter if Taalik is the opening or the keynote speaker. All you have to do is hear him, and you'll be hooked. What? Meet you at the old Autobahn so we can rally up and organize the people? Haven't you heard that place is always closed? The old ones in the power structure vowed that they would never again give the people that kind of space to assemble. They are scared of Malcolm's ghost now returning to the crime scene. That's why that place is always closed. This is Dusty Basement Studios, and we approve of this message.
Keep it real.
What, dear?
Because I keeps it real like that.
I keep it real.
Special family edition of Wipeout. I'm John Hanson here with John Hanson. Family edition. This is going to be awesome. You and I are kind of like that. Well, you know I look up to my father. Well, thanks, Sean. It's a lot. Can I have $20 to go out with my friends in town? 40? No. Well, I don't get the whole tank of gas because I got to borrow your car. Dozen families are all competing, and it all starts with this week's qualifier. The brand new opportunity to support couples. A Wipeout family? Right now. After that, we'll move on to the sucker punch.
Hey,
What up?
what's popping? Are we not live, are we?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
8 o'clock, you
Oh.
say 8 o'clock. Always try to start on time. Gotta be on time.
I know that's right. Did you do your 15-minute intro?
Yeah, I always do that 15 minutes prior to the actual start time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that
Yeah, it's 8 o'clock. It's 8:03. So I'm surprised you've been live for 18 minutes because we were supposed to do that at 8 o'clock.
yeah.
But yeah, so I wanted to talk about love, right? And I don't even see the title of the show. What's the title? What's good, Twin Pyramid? What's the title of the show?
I don't know. You said love something, and I just wrote, "What's love got to do with it?"
What's love got? What's love got to do with it? I wanted to talk about what is a healthy. Hey, so brother 85, what is a healthy, or what is considered to be a healthy, loving relationship?
Okay.
And do people actually get together based on love? Are most relationships based on genuine affection and genuine love? Or is it based out of a necessity and a need?
Mm-hmm.
Do people get with people that they genuinely are in love with nowadays? Or have that ever been the case? And if not, why? And I would like to discuss that.
Yeah.
So starting off, I would just like to say that I honestly don't believe that people genuinely get together for reasons that are based upon being emotion or being in love. And a lot of people will say that, a relationship is more than just being in love with the person. It takes finances and all of these types of things. But I believe that if a person is, or two people, if they're genuinely in love and they're equally yoked everything that comes out of that relationship, including finance, be prosperous. So I would think that that would be something that wouldn't even have to be mentioned. So when people oftentimes mention, you know, well, you know, a relationship is more than just being in love, you got to be financially equipped. I would think that that's something that would be understood. What's understood shouldn't be explained. You are what you attract. But I think the key thing that is needed, or the key element, is genuine affection for a person, and not lust, not infatuation, because that's just that's an unhealthy obsession. But genuine love. And unfortunately, I just don't think many people, you know, have that type of intimacy with each other. Now, let me ask you this, Angel. Do you think that people have or are in relationships based solely off of love? And do you think, if yes or if no, do you think race plays a part in how people interact with each other when it comes to relationships?
You asking me. the loser of romance. You gonna ask me, huh? Like I can give advice. If you notice, I don't have these types of topics on my channel.
I see.
I don't really mess with the subject at all. It's very, very rare that I even talk about, you know, love and relationships.
And that's why I wanted to bring it up out you, because I know you got it in you.
See, the main reason why I don't talk about love and relationships and things of this nature is because we're slaves.
Okay, and that's why I said, do you think race plays a part? Okay.
I mean, when I was locked up, the only thing on my mind, I wasn't thinking about no romance. I wasn't thinking about no having no family and children, and I want to get out of my incarceration. That's all was on my mind. I do not want my children to come see me locked up. I don't want to bring children in this world and I'm a slave.
Powerful. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want. That's not what I want. Some of these people don't mind when their children be born. They're gonna have to tell their children that you are an inferior to somebody else and you're a damn pharaoh slave.
And that you have to tell your black child that, you know, one day we're gonna have to have this talk, that your race can be your detriment simply because a person who's in power wants to take you out or wants to disrespect you. I think that's crazy.
Right. And that's more important. The getting out of prison, changing the condition is more important. Dr. Neely Fuller Jr. said, "Why are y'all having all these babies? Why are you having these babies? Even if you raise them Black Power, Nation of Islam, Hebrew, Kemetic, whatever your choice of blackness is supposed to be, it don't make no difference because they come into a world where they are going to be influenced by, like Tariq Nasheed said, the dominant society. They're gonna learn how to get drunk,
right?
Learn how to use drugs. They're gonna all these different things is in the society. There's nothing that you can do that can protect them. They're gonna be watching a lot of TV, watching a lot of the internet. There's nothing you can teach them. I mean, a prime example is somebody like Minister Louis Farrakhan. One of his sons was born in the Nation of Islam. That's all he knew all his life. But once he got began to explore the world and blah, blah, he ended up becoming a drug addict. And then...
Isn't one of his kids married to a white woman or a white man?
Yeah, this is the one I'm talking about. I think his name Leonard. Is it Leonard? I forgot what his name is. But anyway, he ended up going to rehab treatment, and that's where he met his Caucasian wife. They was both dope fiends. And then they had biracial children, of course. And you know how the Nation of Islam teach that the white man's the devil and all this kind of good stuff. So now Minister Farrakhan, because that's his son, he got his white wife and his biracial children. They living in the same, and you know, and her whole full-blooded white parents, they all intermingle and having a good time, and we family now.
Mm-hmm.
Which is totally against the teachings that he claimed that he believes in. But that's my son. See, that's my son. See, I don't want to go through all that. I want my children to grow up in an environment when they look to the left, nothing but black folks. Look to the right, nothing but soul brothers and sisters. Look to the east, to the west. That's all basically they see all the time anyway. They have no choice but to be with themselves. And everything around them, when they see that building, black folks built it. When they get on the subway,
Right.
black people built it. You know, that's the kind of environment I want my children. I want them to know that I'm the man of the house.
Right.
When white folks come into our territory, they know that these white folks are obeying, they are in compliance with our laws.
Right.
And if they break our laws, they shall be dealt with. That's what I want my children to see. I'm not interested in nobody's panties. You can always get panties. That's not never going nowhere, no time soon. But your freedom, your liberation, being a liberated people, we have never experienced that going on 500 years. But we've been getting panties every day. So what? We've been having families every day. They was having families during slavery. So what? That's why I don't deal with the lovey-dovey stuff. You got a woman, and you and your woman know that both of y'all are slaves. What kind of relationship do you have anyway? You both feral slaves. You both in a position and in a condition of being inferior to other people that don't give a damn about you, waiting for you to make that mistake so they can put you 6 foot under the ground.
Right. So essentially what you're saying is that the black man can't even protect the black woman. So the whole idea of him being a man to her, or her being able to submit to somebody who's not in a position of power, that's all an illusion that the black man and the black woman are trying to emulate, imitate by looking at the white man and the white woman's relationship.
Basically, that's what it is. Because what other relationship do we have? We wasn't raised in no Africa. We wasn't raised in China. The only relationship, the only person who's an example of relationships to us is the oppressor. And we want to be like him because, of course, we know that our position is on the bottom, and then we look at Massa, so we want to be like him. You want, just like you were saying on the live stream yesterday. And, I want to be like that. That's who your daddy is. That's why you want generational wealth. Whatever the cracker got, that's what you want. You want generational wealth. You want all the education. You want this and that and that. Your thinking and your behavior and your mindset is just like your dad. That's who you want to be like.
So are you saying that the men that black women choose and the women that black men choose are predicated upon white ideas?
Of course. Of course. What other example do you have? What other foundation do we got except them? That's all.
So let me ask you this. Do you think because black people are trying to emulate and imitate an idea that is not natural to them, do you think that's the reason why relationships in the black community don't last?
That's one of the problems because she dropped off. Well, she'll be back. Yeah, of course, because we're trying to be like the oppressor. Our ideas of success is like his. Our ideas of everything is founded upon. She's back right here. Okay, you back. Yeah. Our idea, everything about us, even when you listen to these black power people, these blackity black folks, you always hear them, they always got to use the white man as an example. Well, you see the white man do this and the white man do that and blah blah blah. I don't care what they do. I don't care what they did. I don't care how they, even if they are successful, I don't care. I want to do my own thing.
Right.
Aren't you creative? Aren't you creative? Don't you have a brain? You need to look to somebody else in order to function. Get real. I don't need them to function. They need somebody to copy. If it ain't the white man, let's copy the African. Let's copy the Chinese. And they bring the Chinese up too. Well, the Chinese do this, and they even bring up the Mexicans. Well, the Mexicans, you're not Mexican, you're not Chinese, you're not a Caucasian, you're you.
Right.
And act upon who and what you are. That's your problem. You don't know who you are. And you don't know who you are, you don't know your potential, you don't know what you can and cannot do. You basing your whole activity on other people that don't give a damn about you. Africans don't give a damn about you. People from the islands don't give a damn about you. They trying to make it the best way they can. You know, unfortunately, everybody is looking out for themselves. I wish it wasn't that way. I wish we was all, as human beings, looking out for one another for the best interests of humanity, but that's not the case at this time. So I have no control of that. I have to deal with the cards that I was dealt. So I'm looking out for us. The slaves born in America, having dark skin, the so-called, once called Negro, us in America. I have no concern. And plus, on top of that, how can I help Africans? How can I help anybody else if I cannot help myself? I have to be able to help myself first. I have to do me first. I cannot give you $10 and I don't have $10 for myself. How I can't even give myself $10. I'm gonna give it to you.
And see, that's the reason why I wanted to have this conversation with you, because although you don't talk on it, because oftentimes we talk on it from, again, a perspective that isn't natural to us. Yes. And so therefore, for those of us who know the truth, it kind of, we're repelled from the conversation, because that fairy tale ideology of what love is when it comes to us is just, once you know the truth, it's like, okay, next. And so the reason why I wanted to talk to you about it is because I knew that you were going to bring a more real perspective. I mean, it may not be realistic for everyone, but I believe it's a realistic perspective, given the circumstance that we're in. You know, our ability to love one another is very, very jaded, because most Black people don't even love themselves individually.
No.
And so when you don't love yourself, when you don't know yourself, why are you dating this other so-called Black person? Like, for instance, I've heard Black people who, you know, they love the Barack Obamas and they love the Kamala Harrises, and they call these people Black, right? And they're in Black relationships. And most people would essentially think, if a person is in a Black relationship, that they have some idea of who they are. In most cases, that's not the case. They're dealing with someone out of familiarity, not out of knowledge of self or knowledge of that person. A lot of the relationships within the Black community are, I hate to say it, but a lot of it is puppet mastered by these people. You know what I'm saying? If you're in a particular environment based on your financial circumstance or whatever the case may be, then that's who you're going to be matched up with. You know, and they control your finances. So it's not oftentimes our relationships with these Black people are not out of love. It's out of either convenience or just circumstance. You got Black people in predominantly Black neighborhoods, and when they get a little bit of money, they get out of those neighborhoods. They were not around those Black people out of being for their race or the love of their Blackness. They were there because of, you know, the lack of resources. So it makes me wonder, like, what type of growth do some people get out of the relationships that they're in when they have no true knowledge of self? Like, so what is it? Just y'all just fucking and making babies? Because there's no real growth in that situation. He has no knowledge of self, so he's not really teaching you. You have no knowledge of self as a woman, so you're not really teaching him. So it just makes me wonder a lot of the times, are y'all just living together just to pay bills, fuck, and then die?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's
it. Like, there's no ownership of anything. There's no knowledge of anything. It's just two people that come together based off of the fact that there's a familiarity, you know, race-wise, but not really an understanding of the race, and just understands. And so y'all get together, there's a lustful attraction, y'all have sex, y'all have kids, and that's that. But there's no real growth. There's no real there's nothing really productive in relationships with Black people in most instances.
Well, I talked to
intimately, I mean.
Yeah, myself and Sister Noah, we talk about this. You know, I don't talk about it on my videos, but myself and Sister Noah, we talk about, you know, these type of subjects off air or whatever.
Right.
And basically, we are in these relationships. It's just something to do. It's something we are expected to do. You know, as a woman, I'm expected to get pregnant and have babies. And, you know, that's what I'm expected to do. And as a male in this patriarchal society, you know, I have an advantage because I don't have to be a virgin when I'm married. I don't have to worry about nobody calling me a whore and a skank and all that kind of good stuff. I can be a whore and a skank all that I want to, you know, when I get married or whatever. You know, males have an advantage over women in a patriarchal society. This is a patriarchal society, and in fact, you know, all over the world, we're dealing with patriarchal type civilizations and society. So there's an advantage. And as a male, all expected of me is you know, try to sow my oats and whatever. Then when I get old, you know, when I get all worn out or whatever, try to find the cleanest woman that I can, settle down. And even that's not good enough because I'm still gonna go around and whore around. You know, and still not be called names. Matter of fact, you call you know, pimps and people that exploit women, they are actually praised. You know, I'm a pimp and people clap their hands. They don't look down upon pimps or nothing like that. Whatever. Not a prostitute. Oh, look at that prostitute. She do this. Yeah, but she got a pimp. You know, but the pimp is raised up. The prostitute whom he exploited is put down and degraded and made mockery of. And see, that's another thing. How can you have a beautiful or wonderful relationship when the relationship in the society, the genders are not equal? They're not equal at all. There are a lot of women, because in this society, especially when you're dealing with people with religious minds and all that religious marriage nonsense or whatever, you know, you are expected to get into these relationships and it all supposed to be la-di-da. And those people who really believe in Christianity or whatever in these religions, remember, a divorce looks bad in the eyes of God. So a lot of these women involved in these relationships with these horrid men, apparently they don't care about this God or whatever because they doing out there and messing around, whatever. And but they stay in these relationships because they are faithful to this God and they are faithful, they are true to their pledge of marriage when they got married. But see, in this society, men aren't conditioned like that. Men are conditioned to, you know, I'm entitled. I think you was talking about this the last time too. So, but men feel they have an entitlement to women, regardless. They don't have to be married or whatever. They just have this sense of entitlement. If I see Deity, you mine. You're supposed to come around here and drop the drawers, because I'm a man.
Right.
I'm a man, you know. In the Nation of Gods and Earths, which is an offshoot of the Nation of Islam, that's the way it is. They said, I don't really know a lot about the Nation of Gods and Earth, but I heard that's the way they got it set up. There is no marriages or whatever. They got it set up. The females that join that clique, you know, any brother that want to get with them, they're supposed to get with them, and that's how they roll.
Wow.
She's supposed to be submissive and all that to the, you know, all these religions and all this thing is always favored the male.
Right.
Always favor the male. I don't know why women get involved in these religions. This is 2021. It's too much information. It's very clear that these Abrahamic religions are biased and prejudiced against females. And it's all, if you take the male out of these religions, these women can't even hold it up because they ain't do nothing. They're not no prophet. They're not divine enough to get close to God. If you take
but
the
this
men,
one has sense though, because you mentioned something really, really poignant.
yeah,
You said in these organizations, what you say religions, but I'll say organizations, right?
yeah.
In these organizations that are predominantly Black, such as the HOI, the Hebrew Israelites, all of these little organizations, the man is usually the head, which is nothing wrong with that in my opinion. However, it's almost in these organizations, it's almost abusive, like, or they're taking advantage of Black women who are not societal first picks. They take advantage of these Black women. So my question is, do you believe that they do that because they have no power in the system, so they take advantage of the weakest link?
Of course.
And instead of being an ally with these Black women, they kind of, you know, treat them like handmaidens.
Of course, of course. And a lot of these women have been influenced by a lot of these, you know, conditioned with this religious type or just patriarchal conditioning in general, and they accept their role being some type of submissive to these you know, to these males. Males have a problem with you. Males have a problem with somebody like Sister Noble because you're not going to allow yourself to be exploited like that.
Right.
They got a problem. First thing come out their mouth is you some kind of feminist. You know, the feminist got to you. You know, the feminist.
Right. And you act like a man.
And see, the sad thing about it is, in the very beginning, especially coming up out of slavery, Black men and soul brothers and sisters, they were together to a certain point. They didn't have no choice. They was in the same condition and whatever, blah, blah, blah. But see, as they began to experience more of their freedom, this ragged ass Black man want to be more like his massa.
Right.
And he saw how his massa treat his woman. So
right.
I'm going to treat my woman the same way. And that's what Black men did. They start treating our sisters the same way they saw their massa do his woman.
Like a barbaric savage.
Yeah, like a barbaric savage, absolutely. And so, as time goes on, and this white woman, she getting sick of it, and she's fighting for her thing, and the Black woman see this white woman, of course she's going to join that because she's suffering the same. She can feel what the white woman is saying because she's going through the same thing. And she's really torn because she understands the racism and oppression that her and him have been through together for all this time. But at the same time, I'm being oppressed by this cracker, and I'm also being oppressed by this man I'm living with in this house. Something got to go.
Right.
So he's the one that calls the sisters to run the feminism. So if you want to cry and you want to complain about she's a Black feminist, the Black man is the one that done it because your ass want to be like that Peckerwood. You done it. And you can get her easily back.
Black men want to face the fact that the reality is that the woman naturally, let's be very clear, and some men might not even agree, but the woman is naturally the weaker vessel, right? And so therefore, if the man is not in order, the woman ain't gonna be in order.
True.
So if she's acting in the way of a feminist, then that means that, and if that is the case, when that is the case, then that means that that Black man is acting like that white savage.
Right.
So she's going to act like that white female savage.
Right. That's right.
You know, so I don't see how Black men that have these types of complaints don't see that their actions are it impacts how the Black woman acts when she does act like a feminist or when she does act in certain manners. Most Black women, in my honest opinion, that date interracially, they don't do it out of the genuine love of the white man in most cases, not all, but in most, they do it because they've been mistreated by black men.
Right. That's right. Unfortunately, we don't want to deal with that part. That part of the equation. She's just a coon, and she just no. She's been treated wrong by some brother somewhere out there. And the thing about it is, we want to jump on her, but we won't jump on our own gender as males. We won't jump on our own gender and say this is not acceptable. This is not tolerable.
Right.
We won't do that. Matter of fact, we applaud. Man, you sure doing it. You're a pimp. Man, you got it going. You're a player. That's what we do. And see, these men, when I talk about this, they really have no argument. First of all, I'm a male, and it's hard for them. Now, if I was a female, like if you said the things that I say, they'll call you a feminist and all out your name and blah, blah, blah. They don't know how to deal with me because I'm a male. Well, they call me a simp. That's what they call me. They call me a simp. A word they learned from their daddy, the Peckerwood. That's another thing. We so pitiful and pathetic, we can't even make up our own words. You know, simp.
So you say they'll call you a simp, huh?
Yeah, they call me a simp. You know, these folks are so pathetic that they can't even make up their own words. You know,
but let me say this: we holding the black men accountable, but the black women got to be held accountable too. Like, so if you don't want to be mistreated, right? If you don't want to have to become that bitter feminist black woman who has a disdain for black men and essentially for other black women, to be honest, who don't think like you, then you have to choose better mates. You have to choose better men. You need to know who you are so that you know who you're dealing with, so that you do not deal with someone who may not be interested in you for whatever reason that may be. Or who may not be interested in treating you right, or he's not interested in you for the right reasons. And so a lot of these black women, again, when you know who you are, you know who you're dealing with. And let's just be very clear. The way that we as black people move in this system is not going to be the same as other races of people. So you have to take into consideration what it is that you have working for or against you in this system. And black women, for whatever reason, that wig that they be putting on their head, they be forgetting that they black women. You know what I'm saying? Like, so your whole situation and your outlook on relationships cannot be the same as it is for a white chick or an Asian chick. It just, you can't. And that should be because you want to protect yourself from coons, you know, who can hurt you. It's the same thing like if you black and you traveling, like it's just certain places that you wouldn't even want to go because you know that as a black person, you're going to face certain discriminatory behaviors that could result in you being hurt. Right. It's messed up to say, but I mean, you have to be wise enough to understand that those types of things do occur. And I think some black women, because they're so integrated minded, when they do go out in this market dealing with certain men and certain black men in particular, they're not thinking about the fact that some of these men are hurt. Some of these men are have self-hate. You know what I'm saying? Like some of these men have a lot of unresolved issues with their own blackness, and so when they dealing with you for whatever reason that they may be dealing with you, it may not be for the right reasons. And now later on down the line, your feelings are hurt, and now you're labeling all black men and ain't shit niggas, and you know they want this type of female and that type of female when the signs were there before you got with this person. So again, I just think that a lot of black women do need to choose better mates so that they do not end up that like that feminist black woman that we're talking about.
I want to address this comment here from a troll. The host is stepping to the fullest. It is as if he fears this female on the show. Be a man.
I bet you that's that black progressive guy.
It might be, but I wanna go ahead and address that because this is a mentality that's all over social media. these weak black males, these weak soul brothers. Now he's gonna tell me be a man. You're gonna come to my broadcast hiding behind an avatar. Okay, she's back. You hear me?
Yeah, I heard you. You said these weak, and then that's when I went out.
Yeah, okay. Here's a person that comes on my platform in the chat room, hiding behind an avatar, telling me to be a man. What do you know about being a man? The only thing you know about being a man is copying the white man. That's all you know. That's all you know. And you copy and move and behave and think just like the Peckerwood. That's what you are. You cannot handle the reality of your situation. Matter of fact, to be quite honest, there's no a slave can't be a man.
Right.
Slave can't be a man. A beta or alpha. You under somebody else's rule. You're a slave. You just somebody with a penis. Because a man produces what he needs. Now, this true G person, come on now, don't run. Tell us, do you produce your own electricity? Do you produce your own gas? You got all these babies running around. Do you produce baby shoes, baby clothes, baby milk, a baby seat? You don't produce nothing. Everything that you are comes from your massa, from your daddy. You don't produce nothing, Mr. Man. Here we are on social media, and there's a lot of brothers and sisters. They create other platforms for us to be on, so we don't have to be on YouTube, so we don't have to be on Facebook. Oh, but you won't support them. Here your happy ass is right here on YouTube and Facebook, because the white man's ice is colder than our ice. That's the reason why. But you a man. But you a man. What do you do as a man except make a baby? What do you do for that baby? Absolutely nothing. Your baby going to be born into a world where that child has to be told that you are inferior and you have nothing and you got to work 10 times as hard to be recognized as other people. And the only thing you can be is a damn rapper and a singer and a dancer or whatever. That's what you have to strive for. Come on, Mr. True G. Come and show us your manhood. I'm sipping for the female. No. What I'm doing.
What is their issue? Why is it that a lot of these, I don't know if this is a white guy that's, or just a white-minded black guy, but my thing is, why is it that a lot of these black men on this, whatever it is, why do they always have this thing where it's a black man against black woman thing? I mean, I don't get that. They don't never talk about the real problem. They just make up some shit.
Yeah. And that's it. And he's here because he probably saw in the title that you was going to be here. That's why he showed up. They have an opportunity to say something to a black female. Just like that other person. Matter of fact, you might be right. It might be that black progression person under another account.
All right.
Probably could be. Like a coward. How you gonna tell somebody to be a man and you hide behind a picture? And then, since I'm not a man, show me what it is. Be an example. Show me what it's about. Come on, True G, G-Jack, whatever you want to call yourself. Come on, show us what a man's supposed to be doing.
Being a man is being a keyboard warrior. That's what a man is.
Oh, he can still write. I did not make reference to a male or female thing, but this post is surely simping.
Well, you have to learn how to spell first. That's the first part of being a man. Okay.
This troll is not a man. Troll is not a man. Simping how? Explain the simping, sir. Simping how? Because I'm telling the truth about men and women, that you are a feral slave in this country, and that you're not a man, that you got another man's penis running up your backside, and there ain't nothing that you can do about it. This cracker go out and kill our children anytime they want to. How many years have it been since Trayvon Martin died?
And ain't nobody
do nothing. Sean Bell, and the list goes on and on. Freddie Gray. Who took revenge on these lives? Y'all men.
Nobody. But a lot of these same black men that talk like this, for whatever reason, they take up for the white people that kill these black men. They try to say, but it's a black man, black woman thing, but y'all are not helping your black brothers.
Right. Then, yeah, your own black brothers are not doing nothing for nobody.
They'll go and blame the black guy, say he shouldn't have went in that area. Right. He should have just submitted. He should have got on his knees. He should have sucked the white man's dick and maybe he'll be alive.
Yeah.
Like, come on. These people, listen. When these people want to face their powerlessness, they'll find a reason to blame the victim.
Right. Right. Now, I'm not going to go back and forth in your comments. Bring your happy ass on the platform and be a man and talk to me face to face, chump. I'm not going to go back and forth while you write your cowardly things on the chat room. You got all that much to say. Bring your happy ass. Click the link. Where the link at? Put the link in here. You such a man. You such a man. Come and talk like a man. Here's the link. I'm not reading no more of your comments. I'm not going back and forth with you on a chat. You a man. Come and deal with me face to face. Click the link. Bring your happy ass into the boxing ring. I don't care about all that stuff. Matter of fact, I'm getting ready to block you. I don't want to. You're a coward to me. You got all that to say in the chat room, and you can take the time to write. Bring your happy ass, click the link, and come here and talk to me face to face, Mr. Man. Matter of fact, I show my face all the time, every day. You can stay hiding behind the picture. Bring your voice, coward. You got so much to say. Anyway, I'm going to ignore that because that don't mean nothing to me. I don't like cowards. You're going to call somebody a man. Come here, click the link, talk to me face to face. But you're not going to do that because you're a coward. So I'm not even interested in it. We're going to continue the conversation. I'm just going to ignore that troll because I'm not interested. Don't talk about somebody a man. You're not a man or whatever. Will you be a man? Come over here and speak and say what you got to say to me in my face. You need to go to Tariq Nasheed platform or Sinetta TV. That's where you need to take your happy, true G ass on somewhere. You're not on the verge of being blocked. I'm just going to ignore your comments because you don't have nothing to say to me. Oh, he bye. See, like the coward. Bye. See, he can't take, see, but he's a man. You're a man. Now, see, I'm going to tell you this. If it was you Deity here by yourself, he would come and get you. He would.
Oh, the big bad wolf, huh?
Yeah, he'll come and get you. I know he would.
That's really a sheep.
Yeah. That's really a sheep.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, we're gonna continue the conversation. I want to say, bring it back to these. Even Snow Daddy, Snow Daddy's like, you know, he ain't no G to me. But look at here. Going back to our relationships. Okay, okay, we're in these relationships, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And just like you said, are these relationships love or are they based on necessity?
Right.
Or a conditioning?
Mm-hmm.
Now, they both really exist. exist. They do. Because I know, well, from my experience, it was a young girl when I was coming up. I mean, I don't know what it was about this girl. I just was in love with this. I mean, I was just in love with this girl.
Right.
Her name was Ida White. And we met in the 3rd grade. And I don't know what it was about this girl. I just liked this girl. I guess maybe because she was really, really nice to me too, and I wasn't used to nobody being nice.
Okay.
And because my mother was tripping, and she could have gave me school supplies or whatever, but my mother was tripping. She didn't give me proper school supplies, whatever. And that young girl saw that I didn't have nothing, and she was like, "I'll share what I got with you." And you know, we used to talk or whatever. And one day she was gone. Her older sister, this guy kept bullying her older sister, and the school, the principal, you know, the people act like they couldn't do nothing about it. So her parents took them out of that school where I was at.
Okay.
So it was years later, and we was in high school, and I was forced to go out of my district, and it just so happened I ended up in the same school district that she was at years later. We're in high school now.
Mm-hmm.
And we looked at each other and said, I know you. I said, I know you too. You know, we different. You know, we don't, I mean, it's what, been 10 years or so? And don't you know, I still had them feelings for that girl.
Wow. Okay.
I sure did. I still had them. She didn't have those feelings for me.
Right.
But I still had those feelings for that girl. Now, that's the only reason why I, you know, because I wasn't a football player. You know, I wasn't a basketball player. I wasn't none of those type of things. So, you know, I was a nerd. I was mostly in my books most of the time. So the only way I could really show off is that I had learned how to sing a little bit, entertain a little bit. And one of the first impressions that I done was Elvis Presley.
Okay.
Well, you know, when I was growing up, Elvis Presley was hot when I was growing up. And I just sat there. I had some Elvis Presley records and just kept messing with playing those Elvis Presley records over and over again, trying to mimic his voice. And then one day I figured I got it. And then one day I figured I got it. I think I can sound like Elvis. So I went to my bully at the time because I know he had a big mouth and he'll spread the word. We was just in the room, just me and him, and I just started singing Elvis. And he was like, "You sound like Elvis Presley." And he started to roll. You know, he started getting there. Come and listen to this guy. He sound like Elvis. You know, that's how I was able to get closer to her because I'm not a basketball player, football player, but I was able to. And everybody knew I had this crush on her. Tell him to sing. Tell him to sing. You know, it was all messed up, you know, situation. But yeah, so I understand it can happen. It can happen. The problem is when you get that feeling, you know, the person that you like, do they like you back? Because like you say, when two people generally love each other, like you was talking about, finances is that. I mean, finances and all these other things that these people talk about. That's just understood. That's just a part of it.
Right, because it's like, you know, anything that is reflective of you is going to happen naturally. It's not something that you have to speak on.
Yeah, you don't have to speak on that.
Right.
Unfortunately, we live in such a corrupt society that this corrupt society actually will corrupt people who are genuinely in love because it's going to force you. Well, you know, don't y'all think y'all need to talk about that prenuptial agreement? Don't you think, you know, this society and how this society that we live in will corrupt people who are truly in love because they're going to force you to start thinking about your money and these other material things. You know, that actually a lot of these things people weren't thinking about, but now they're forced to think about it. You know, lawyers and even your daddy might say, well, you know, you got more than her. You need to have a prenuptial agreement. You know, people get into your head and mess up the love that you genuinely have for this person. Now y'all looking at each other cross-eyed.
Right. Like, what can you do for me?
Yeah. Yeah, see?
Mm-hmm.
But now,
so it's give me, take situation. There's nothing, in most cases with us, it's not a genuine relationship, because like you said, they're trying to emulate something that is not natural to them to begin with.
Right.
Which is the reason why you have a lot of single mothers in the Black community. They were trying to emulate relationships that weren't, and imitate something that wasn't right.
Well, I'm not going to say that's not right, but what I'm going to say is that they're not facing the reality of what they're dealing with.
Right.
And most of the time, they know these men aren't father material. They know that.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them actually think, maybe I can change. You ain't going to change nobody.
Right. And that's what I mean when I say imitate something that's not right. Again, going into relationships and you're not even mature enough to understand what it is that you're doing. You just know that he's a man and you're a woman and you want to have sex. And so that's just what it is, because you've been taught that that's what you're supposed to do. Right.
Right.
But we ain't been taught. Like, we need to, again, like we were saying, everything that we do as a race of people is predicated on what we've been taught by groups of people that has nothing to do with us.
Right.
So when you go into these situations with these women that ain't really about shit, or these men that's not really about shit, is not based off of a true knowledge or understanding of the situation and the circumstance. It's just based off of something that you feel like you're supposed to do.
Uh-huh.
You know? That's how I see it.
Yeah, that's the way I see it also. And then, of course, genuine love can be corrupted. And then you also have these relationships that wasn't founded upon genuine love anyway. Just like you said, they was.
Let me give you an example. Let me say this real quick. And what I mean when I say people get into these situations because they think that's what they're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. The types of men that are pushed to Black women are hood niggas, right? The media controls that. So it is ingrained subconsciously in the mind of a lot of Black women to like that type of a Black man. Mm-hmm. Even if you're not aware of why. It's because that's what you're conditioned to actually find attractive or appealing. Even if some part of you may say, you know, I want a man who got this and got that. Even that is a form of conditioning. You're going after what you've been told you should like.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just like with Black men, you're conditioned to believing that this type of a woman is the type of woman that you should find attractive.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get with this bitch, she fuck up your whole life, and now you pissed off with Black women.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because again, it's a form of conditioning. You're not getting into a situation based off of your own understanding of what it is that you should be with, or who you should be with, or what type of person you should be with. In most cases, you're dealing with what society tells you you're supposed to like, what you're supposed to find attractive. And you don't know why you find him attractive or why you like hood niggas, but they fuck up your life.
Mm-hmm.
So you say that you like them, but at the same time you say they ain't no good and they bad for me, but it's just something about it.
Right.
Like you're trained and conditioned to find that attractive because that's what's pushed out to us by this media as what a man is. A Black man, a man who is a man's man in the Black community is a thug. A man who is a man's man in a white community is a man who can create and build. Those are two different, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you find that attractive and don't really understand why. And then, like I said, when he mess up your life and hurt your feelings and break your heart and, you know, go from this chick to that chick or whatever the case may be, now your feelings are hurt.
I'll tell you something else. Not to
what?
Because that image or that type of personality, as far as a person that's referred to as a thug, you know, a lot of brothers they are put in that thug category, and they're nothing like that at all. I mean, they might dress that way or whatever, but they're not no thug. They just don't want to work or whatever their problem is. They're not no thugs, and they're like they just like to drink or whatever. They're not no thug type person. But this is what I find.
Mm-hmm.
See, a lot of women, it still come down to, see, a man is supposed to be the one that chased the woman.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, they got it where the women is chasing the man.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really unnatural. But a lot of these so-called these thug type people, whatever, if you notice, they got what they call, they got game. When they meet these women, they know how to make you laugh, smile, tell you these different stories. And some of them, the rough kind, they carry their little pistol. You walking around with this guy, you know that he gonna set it off. Somebody try to hurt you and the children, whatever. He don't have no problem.
So old school. You said they got their little pistol.
Yeah,
okay.
you know he's gonna take care of business or whatever. And you got somebody. He might not have the best job in the world. He might be slanging double, whatever. But this woman, you feel comfortable because this guy makes you feel comfortable, make you feel like a woman. You feel protected. And even though he's not financially able to do certain things, but he added some things that's very important, like protection.
But that's the reason why I said that the man in the Black community that is pushed in our face as Black people, as the man's man, is the street dude, is the street nigga, is the hood nigga.
Yeah.
And so naturally, in an unnatural situation, though, that's what you're going to find attractive. You're going to want a man's man. But we're given that we don't control the media. We don't control our image that's placed in the forefront. We don't control that.
That's true.
So, and like I said, the white man who is considered the man's man is the man who's building, controlling, owning. You know what I mean? And so, and just like with these dudes that complain about certain types of Black women, those are the Black women that's perpetuated in the media as what you should be trying to go at. And when they try to go at these females and they get their feelings hurt because they're not that thug nigga or they're not that image, then they, get online and they complain and all that old type of crazy shit. So what I'm saying is that a lot of our relationships, and the reason why a lot of these people are hurt is because they're going at something and going after something that isn't what you should be actually dealing with. You're not even in your natural state of mind to know what you should be dealing with. You should be dealing with people that elevate us, not, so, I mean, a lot of Black people just don't even understand that concept. And thugs do need love too. It's some real thugs. I mean, they do, but I mean, they deal with people who, let's see.
Well, see, this is another thing. I understand exactly where a lot of people are coming from. But the ultimate problem is, as long as you live with your enemy, as long as you live in this type of environment, that's what you're going to get. Nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change. When you change your environment, now you're in a position to control the behavior of the people because you control the education, you control the media, what they are able to listen to, what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. You have to change the environment. And it's like this. If you're a dirty person and you just nasty whatever, if you put that dirty person with people that keep themselves together and clean, you'll notice after a certain period of time, slowly but surely they'll change because they don't want that feeling of out of place. Everybody's clean and here you're the only one in the whole house that's nasty and dirty like that. They start to pick up the traits because their environment has changed. So they
right.
See, we can complain all that we want to, but as long as we live in this environment, that's what this environment produces. And contrary to popular belief, you got thugs, even though they're not promoted in the media. You got thugs among white folks. You got thugs among the Chinese, the Africans, and Mexicans. You got thugs and in all races. So that don't mean, it's just that it's perpetuate, in the black community, on the media. But they have theirs too. And you watch some of these reality crime shows, you'll see that they got a bunch of thugs with them too that do some crazy stuff and blah blah.
Yeah,
blah.
but here's the difference though. Here's the difference on how that works, right? So when the white man is perpetuated as the builder, right? That's what the man in the white community is perpetuated as, right? Therefore, all white men at first glance will get that level of respect because that is what is perpetuated. Whereas because the thug image is perpetuated in the black community, all black men will be seen as that first until he shows negativity comes in with the whole, controlling of the image and so forth. That's where the negativity comes in with that. So yes, there's thugs in all communities, but because it's not broadcasted, you're not going to be seen as a thug or criminal at first glance if that's not what your representative is showing.
Mm-hmm.
If the most thugged out white boy still got a chance of getting some respect from people off first glance, off GP, just because he white. Whereas a black man doesn't get that chance. Right. So, yeah, we could talk about the thugs in the Chinese communities, but that's not what's their representative isn't a thug. The representative for the Chinese man is, a hustler and smart and,
right,
into math and all that science and shit like that. So, but the black man doesn't get that same opportunity. So with that being said, if the representative for the black man is the thug image, that's what women are going to want to go for in most cases, unfortunately. Even the successful black women. Because that is your representative as a black man, and anything that deviates from that is going to be looked down upon in the majorative. Most black women are not checking for a black man who is like a Poindexter type, unless he's a celebrity or unless he's known or unless he got money. They'll take a hood nigga that got, like you said, that whole protection image, but he's broke. Because that's you're important, because that's how people are going to come at you. And if somebody come at you in a way that is not representative of you or is not of you, period, you might go off on a motherfucker. Representative.
I'll tell you this.
You know what I'm saying? What?
In reference to this person that say, talk about he's a man, I'm not a man, I'm sipping and he's a man. In reference to that character, right? What all this represents is your failure as a man. That's what it represents. The reason why we're having this conversation the way we are is because the black man and these men, you have failed. Because if you were successful, if you knew what the hell you was doing, your woman would be with you instead of trying to get the hell away from you. You have failed as men. And the reason why you have failed as men, because you put booty over your liberation. If these women, let me tell you something.
Go ahead.
I don't care if she's a thug woman or highly educated. I done dealt with all of them. If this woman see that you doing what a man is supposed to do according to what you dictate, you provide and you protect. If these women saw you doing those different things, they have more respect for you. But you're not doing a damn thing, sitting on your ass, waiting on the peckerwood to give you a drink of water just like she is. You're not doing anything. You want the praise and you want the honor,
right?
But you don't want to. They don't want to do the work. They don't want to sacrifice. They don't want to suffer, and they damn sure don't want to die for your liberation. Liberation comes first. Liberation is top priority. Booty, you can get that anytime that you want to.
Right.
Who gives a I don't care about that stuff like that. I want to be free once and for all. You should be sick and tired of being under this man going on 500 years. That's a long damn time.
Right.
Going on 500 years, and y'all satisfied with that? You gonna sit around here and talk about why you can't get no booty and the black woman do this for hours and hours and hours? What kind of conversation is? How's that gonna get you in a better place?
Right.
Because when all said and done, she's still not giving you no booty. Go chase your white women, get your white women pregnant, then she's still gonna take half or more than half of your crap that you got. Because she don't really love you like that either. Nobody loves your happy ass. You just a long penis. You just a sex toy. That's all you are. A slave on a plantation. A mandingo. That's all you are. You have not earned higher. That's why I'm a simp. Because I'm telling this bum, you talking all that man stuff. You're not a man. You just a life form with a penis. That's all. And that's why the only way you can feel like a man is you got to starve your children. I got all these children. I had all these women. You can't show your buildings. You can't show your pyramids. You can't show your skyscrapers. You can't show nothing except your nasty, small sling. That's the only thing that you can show. And so since you're not a man, in the privacy of your own home, you want to get a submissive woman so you can verbally abuse her, physically abuse her, beat your children, and kick the dog in the ass. Because that's the only time you can feel like a man. You're damn sure not going to come out in society and challenge this Peckerwood one-on-one. You're scared to death of him. So they don't like to come around me because I got to keep it real. Now, when you do better, I would tell you you better. I'm not going to give you credit that you did not earn. When you become a fighter, I will call you a fighter. You are a coward. You are a coward. A yellow belly. And that's what I'm going to call us. We refuse to fight. There was a song, one of the lyrics from the Public Enemy song was something to the effect, we refuse to fight. And that was back in the 80s. This is 2021, and we still ain't fought nobody. Still ain't did it. But you want all this respect from these women. And let me tell you, when you stand up and be a man and do what men do, and you can provide and you can protect, all these women that you call ratchet and whatever these nasty names you call these sisters, when they speak, if you finally become a man, whatever you want them to be, I guarantee you they will change into what you want them to be. That's not a problem. But until you become a man, until you can provide and protect, hell, I do what the hell I want to do. Why should I change and try to do something for you? You ain't worthy of nothing. I take care of myself. I don't need a man. And she don't. She take care of her children by herself. She got her job. She do everything by herself. What the hell she needs you for? Except being a sperm donor. What do you offer? Nothing. And when that white woman divorce your happy ass, or that Chinese woman, or that African woman divorce your ass, she gonna tell you the same thing after she finished using your ass. You're not no man. You're just a man in your imagination. In your imagination. That's the only place that you're a man. Because in real life, you're not. You're not. And I have no shame in it. It don't hurt me at all because I can handle the truth. Because I want to be better. I said, okay. That's the truth of the matter. Let me try to be better. I'm not going to live in denial. And then you want to run from channel to channel looking for somebody to cuddle your ass. You want these women, when you fall, kiss your little knee. Like that brother that was on our program last night. He couldn't handle the heat the little heat that was going on, I'm leaving, I'm gone. You know, he wants somebody to cover him. It's not fair. You treating her better than me. Why don't you shut the hell up? Be quiet till I can settle the situation. Then you can talk. Well, he's too busy crying. Oh, you ignoring me. Negro, I don't pay attention to men. I don't kiss men in the mouth like Louis Farrakhan do and cuddle your hand. Hell, I don't even want to shake your hand. Hell, I don't even want to give you down. You're too pitiful. You're too pitiful to me. You're too weak for me. Bunch of crybabies. I've never been around a bunch of men on social media, these kind of men here, a bunch of crybabies. Hell, I remember when I was a little coward running away from my abuser or whatever. I wasn't as scary and yellowback like these guys are, and I never blame. I don't care how much a sister hurt my feelings. I don't care what these black women did to me as far as relationship was concerned. I never went out here and blamed black women for nothing. All the weed, and I don't talk about black women weed. I don't give a damn if you wear a weed, if you wear a cactus plant on top of your head. I don't give a damn about that kind of stuff. See, it's about us as men changing the conditioning, changing the environment. When you change that environment for her, she'll change. But you're not man enough to change the condition.
Exactly.
You're not man enough to change the environment. The only thing you want to do, I guess you wait for the white man to change it for you. That's what they're doing. They're waiting for the white man to do it for them. And he'll never do it. He likes it just the way it is. Yeah. Because it's nothing but a modern day slave plantation. So why should he change it? Everything benefits him. Why the hell should he change anything?
Exactly.
And you angry at me because as a man, I'm telling us as men, we got to stand up. We got to challenge other men to stand up. I'm not going to be spending my time messing with women because just like you said earlier, the man's supposed to be the strength. The man's supposed to be the leader. So get your happy ass up and leave.
Exactly.
No, you don't have the guts. You don't have the guts. Bunch of cowards. And you don't know what the hell you're doing anyway. But you don't want to listen to the brothers that know what they're doing. Because if you come here, we can tell you what you need to be doing. Let's get the job done. And you get your woman back. You get your children back. You'll get our black history back that other people want to steal. But the only thing you want to do is lay on your ass, spend the money that the white man allow you to get, and complain. Like you're an old woman. It's not happening here. So if you want somebody, you want somebody to cuddle you and kiss you and tell you a king, that you're a king and you're a god, the black man is God and all that baloney, this is not the place to be. Now, when you earn that credit, I'll give it to you. When you earn it, you ain't earned a damn thing. When you earn it, I will say it. I have no problem with giving people credit where credit is due. I have no problem with that.
There you go. You said a mouthful. I'm just letting you, do your thing. Because, see, when a female say things like that, they got a problem with it.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. No doubt. No doubt. I mean, like I told you, if it was just you here, that troll, whatever, he would have came on here and be arguing with you back and forth. That's what they into, arguing and messing with women. But I'm here, he's not going to deal with another brother, another man.
Nah.
I'm way more man than you ever be, chump. Because I don't blame women for my problem. You blame women. They talk about the black woman is the reason why the community is in the condition that it's in. Since when? And the black woman is the one who ruled the community. How? When did this happen? I didn't get the memo. Because every time I see on TV And since I was growing up, the figures that I see that's running things is always men. Oh, but when everything is
right,
going
and they're not black men either.
What I'm saying for the little things that we do have control of is always black men. The little things that we do have a little control over is black men. And as long as things be going good a little bit, yay, we got to look at our men. But as soon as you start directing to the things where they fail, it's the black women that do this. It's single mothers. It's single mothers. They always talk about single mothers. They never bring up single fathers, because if it's right for single mothers, it's also right for single fathers also. And another thing, a widow is a single mother. Now, what if you're a woman and you lost your husband? You just don't want to get married again. Now you become a single mother. That stuff don't mean nothing. You cannot control how your children are going to turn out, whether you're a two-parent household or a single parent. You cannot control that. A child, after they get a certain age, they got a mind of their own. All of them experience that. Because your parent might want you to be a doctor, and you rather be a drug addict on the street. That's not what your parents wanted you to be, but that's what you decided. That's what I want to be. I want to be a drug addict on the street. And drug addicts come from two-parent households. Drug addicts come from single parents households. Marriage is nothing but a ritual. Marriage is nothing but two people coming together, making a pledge, telling a damn lie that I'm going to be with you for the rest of my life. That's what marriage is. It don't mean nothing. It don't determine whether your family going to be successful or what. It's just a ritual. And most people telling a damn lie. They're not going to maintain that pledge. The average marriage in the United States don't even last 2 years. Because they were telling a damn lie when they got married to begin with. They wasn't serious about it. They got married because she got a big booty, and she got married because she got a big wallet, or whatever the case may be. They didn't get married on because, like we said earlier, they didn't get married because of love anyway.
Right.
You know, they was lusting, or because of money, or I married this guy because that's who my daddy liked. My daddy likes him.
Right.
Do you like him? Well, but my daddy likes him. What tell him to marry your daddy then? We do things for other reasons, not out of genuine love. That's why we all messed up in this situation here. And we get married, or we have these relationships.
And that's why I wanted to bring up this topic.
Yeah.
Because having genuine love for self.
Yeah.
Am I breaking up?
Yeah, you breaking up. Are you moving?
I am.
Oh, that's the reason why you're breaking up.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you.
So genuine love to me starts with having genuine love for self.
For yourself.
And then when you have genuine love for self, anything that you deal with, or anyone that you deal with, is going to be a reflection of you. So if you feel like you a fucked up person, you're going to deal with a fucked up person. And that may not be bad for you because, water seeps at its own level. So, but when you have no knowledge of self, you go to think people that can't build you. You know what I'm saying? It's like I said, you're going based off of what society told you is what you should like. That's the reason why people need to stop looking at TV if they can't really control, how it affects their thoughts. Some people are easily manipulated, and they just don't know how to think for themselves. When it comes to relationships, unfortunately, Black people need to do a lot more than just, listening to rap music and letting, a rapper or somebody or an actor tell you what it is that you're supposed to like, because you already fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And these people just as fucked up as you, but they got a little bit more money than you. So, the average everyday Black person. So again, I just think that it's a messed up situation where Black people just don't really have an understanding of self, and so therefore a lot of relationships that Black people get into, they get into it out of familiarity, and then those other things she got never out of a genuine attraction. And when I say a genuine attraction, I'm talking a knowledge of self attraction. Like, damn, I would love to have babies with this chick because this female is gonna I know she gonna raise our kids right. I know our kids gonna be powerful.
Yeah.
I know our genes is gonna be right. You feel what I'm saying? These people ain't thinking like that. Well, and not to say nothing about these other nations of people, but the reality is that because they have not been infiltrated and their dating process has not been messed up, when they mate with each other, a lot of the times they're thinking about the longevity of their children's future. They're not thinking about, oh, she got a fat ass, Ming Lee got a fat ass, or some big titties, or Sally Sue got a fat ass or some big titty or a flat ass, because you know white men, they love, like, they're thinking about the progression of their seed in a lot of these incidences. They don't even like the woman half the time, but they see something in her that can progress, you know, progressive, racially progressive offsprings. Black people don't think like that.
No.
Like, Black people don't think about longevity. We think about what makes us feel good, because if you're at the bottom, I mean, the fucked up thing is you do want to feel good. You know what I'm saying? When you ain't got shit, you so starved out. Like I said yesterday, you so starved out. You don't even know when you eating bullshit when you get it. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, when you control your image and when you control all of that, that means a lot. Because it determines how your kids are going to be brought in this world and in what type of environment they're going to be brought in. The reason why Black people live in the hood in predominant in a mass state, I would say, yes, because the system did place that shit there. It is what it is. But also because these motherfuckers are procreating with each other, not out of the understanding that procreation is supposed to be about the advancement of your race, not just populating your race with bullshit. Black people don't think like that because most Black people are in such a fucked up environment. They just want to feel good, and sex and getting high and drinking makes motherfuckers feel good, or eating.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And these are the 4 things that fuck up the Black community. Producing a bunch of offsprings and Black people that are unproductive.
Right.
Smoking and drinking, creating unproductive motherfuckers that's already here, and then being obese. Bitch, you ain't trying to do nothing, or bitch nigga, you not trying to do nothing, but just eat and you know, hopefully you eat your problems away. So again, we don't even think about how we don't think race is a #1 factor when it comes to procreation, and Black people act like, well, no, you know, it's not about race, it's about who you love. Motherfucker, you crazy. When that white bitch or that Chinese bitch is having your fucking baby, nigga, she not having your baby, motherfucker, because she loves you, bitch. She's having your baby because she's thinking about the progression of her offsprings, motherfucker. And the progression of her race, because she knows that by her being the mother and the influence in that child's life, that Black gene is going to make that child physically strong, but that Asian mind or that white mind is going to produce a physically strong offspring that is going to benefit her people. That's how motherfuckers think when of other races think when they're producing kids, unless they're crackheads. Black people think like crackheads on a regular basis. Black people think like crackheads in their regular state of mind. And we, as a race, Black people got to do better for real. You got to tighten up. Like, we can't think like it's crazy that these other nations think like us when they're in their most fucked up predicament. Whereas we can be in our best predicament Motherfuckers got millions and they still procreating with these white hoes, or they still procreating with these strippers, not thinking about their offspring, but thinking about getting their dick wet because they slave master ass basketball coach or football coach done ran their ass.
Yeah.
Making millions. That shit don't really feel good. So they gotta find ways to make themselves feel better. Because they don't own shit and they know they don't, but they give you broke niggas the illusion to make themselves feel better by stunting on another black man. Fuck them. Period. Like, so we gotta think about that shit. Like, when you get into relationships, you have to have knowledge of self. Fuck all that fake ass and what them liberal white folks done told you black motherfuckers talking about. It's about love. Oh, it's not about color and all that Martin Luther King shit. We don't see race. When he ain't even write that shit, he had a cracker write that shit for him. Race is always a factor, motherfucker. And you need to have knowledge of self. Because without it, you'll be out here just doing anything. And then getting on the internet complaining about how these black men ain't shit and how these black women ain't shit. Because you producing a bunch of ain't shit black bitches and niggas.
Right.
And then you produced it with a black bitch that won shit or a black nigga that won shit. Like, come on. See, my thing is this. See, I'm gonna talk about niggas that ain't shit, but I'm gonna also talk about females. And the reason why I can do so with an unbiased perspective is because I have not wasted my time with ain't shit niggas. So I'm not scarred. I'm not scorned. A lot of these hoes be on here doing this shit 24/7 out the day because they're scorned. Ho, you've been dealing with the wrong man, and now you want to come on the internet and take that shit out or whatever the case may be. And I don't give a fuck how many donations you get, bitch. That shit is draining. Ho. And for these fuck niggas that be coming on the internet, and I'm sorry about cursing, but you know, sometimes when I get you know, a little overzealous, those words come out. Those colorful words come out. But anyway, so these fuck niggas get on the internet and they want to complain about these black women when dumb nigga is not her fault that you stuck your dick in her and got burnt, whether that be physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. You chose her because you let society dictate, well, this is what the fuck you supposed to get and this is what you supposed to be with, and that bitch burnt your bitch ass because you had no knowledge of self and you didn't understand that when you deal with a bitch, you supposed to deal, if you're gonna deal with a hoe, fuck a hoe, literally and figuratively, right? But if you're gonna have kids with somebody that's going to racially progress your whole gene pool, bitch. Niggas don't be thinking like that. And then want to get mad and complain about deadbeat baby mamas and shit. And like you said, that happens in every race.
Yeah.
But again, and I'm gonna say this again, but that is not what is the representative.
True that. I know,
so, you know,
for me personally, I decided, even as a child, I wasn't even in puberty. As a child, I did not want to bring a child into this world because I understood what stuff it was. And I made that decision when I was a child. I wasn't even in puberty yet. I was at the pond playing and looking at the ducks and whatever. And I just started thinking to myself, because I was growing old, I began to understand the situation I was in. And I'm like, I don't like this. And I decided I don't want to bring another life into this mess.
Right.
One of my greatest fears was bringing a child into this mess. And fortunately, I was able, and I think I have been successful, and I have no intent to bring no children into this mess. Now, those of you who have children,
and it's funny that you say that. Okay. Now go ahead, Angel.
Yeah, those who have children, see, this is what makes me more angry, is that these people have children and they don't give a damn about their future.
Right.
So they bring children into the world, and it's like, okay, I'm bringing you into the world. If you make it, you make it. If you don't, you don't. That's how they think. But see, even in the animal kingdom, animals, when they have offspring, their life is about that offspring, making sure that offspring get the best send-off that it can get, and then in a lot of cases, after the offspring gets sent off, the parents die. You know, like insects, a lot of animals that don't have a long life, they send the babies. Or you could be like a damn rabbit, just have as many babies as you can, and hope, and maybe a few will survive. That's how we think, like we damn rabbits or something. Just spit out all the babies you can. You know, two or three might make it. It'll keep the Negro race going. Maybe that's how we think.
Nah, it's not even that. It's because, again, most black people don't even think about their race because they don't even like it. They don't see a benefit in it, so they're not thinking about, well, let's keep the black population going. Nah, a lot of these motherfuckers don't even think that. They ain't thinking nothing about no race, and they don't give a damn about none of that. They just want to have sex and procreate and just say, you know, because that makes some men feel like men. You have to understand that's just like there's some things that are part of a woman's womanhood, like having a baby, like actually having the baby.
Yeah.
For some men, it's making it. That's what makes them feel like a man. So, but again, we're not even thinking about, as a race of people, we're not even thinking about who we're producing these children with. That's the reason why we got these bum-ass, bastard-ass children, black kids out here, and black people, period, because they were not created with a purpose in mind. And that's just what it is. If I'm going to be with a man, I have to think about, how will my children turn out with this man? That's just the reality. I have to man produce as it should with him, by thinking about what type of children will we produce, bringing in strong offsprings that will one day be able to help us. If I know that I have T'Challas and King, like real, you know what I'm saying, revolutionaries, I mean, come on, that's a beautiful thing to know that I can be with a man that can make that, or that he could be with a woman that can make that. That in of itself is attractive, to know that that strength resides in me and him, and we together can create something like that. But black people don't think like that. These hoes be trying to trap, these niggas be trying to trap these women, and these hoes be trying to trap these niggas with a baby, hoping to keep a deadbeat nigga or female. And you know, so again, they use the off, and that is something that we should share forever. If you want to have a bond, nigga, let's have a bond with a child that's going to share our name and take that far. Share our DNA and take that far. Black people don't think like that. Like I said, black people in most cases, unfortunately, again, I'm talking about a group of people that have not, you know, been able to have their own way of thinking in their own mind. So I get it. But black people want to use the child to trap the person. We are not supposed to use our children or have children to trap each other. Our children are supposed to liberate us. Well, we couldn't liberate ourselves, nigga.
Absolutely.
So black people got to tighten up with their whole way of things. To love, yes, I'm going to fall in love with a man. Listen now, this is my poetic side, and I said this the other day, but I want a man that's walking I want us together, and I said this yesterday again. I want us to be walking through the flesh in our God body. In our God body. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, like I said, when you know who you are, when you reach that level of understanding, like, I want to be able to make love to this man, and we don't even have to touch each other. That's the type of connection I want with him. You know?
A lot of people, when you say that, it flew right over their head. What you haven't said anything or touched nobody. What the hell are you talking about, lady?
Yeah, they can say, what is she talking about? She's crazy. You know, again, that's that low level thinking.
You talk about the Holy Ghost?
Right.
You talk about the Immaculate Conception? Oh, Jesus is the only one who could do that. She must think she Mary or somebody. But we got about 9 minutes left. I'm gonna shut this thing down here. It's good that we talk about these things and bring these issues up, and most of all, be as real and look at this situation in real time as much as possible. But things will be much, much easier as long as we live in this environment. Nothing's going to change. So we can talk, and this time next year, you be saying the same thing, and the year after. As long as we live in this environment, this is what we're going to get. It's simple as that. As long as we live in this environment, this is what we're going to get. We have to change the environment. That's why it's important for something like the Mississippi campaign to happen, so we can begin that change, so we can change our environment. Changing the environment will change the behaviors of the people when you are able to put people in a certain geographical area and begin to feed them something different, give them something different to think about, educate their minds differently, different influences, and so that we can slowly but surely break up out of this rut that we find ourselves in, that was put on us or kept on us on purpose by our oppressor. Actually, it's become a way of life. So we need to break this. We got to change the environment. And we cannot change the environment by staying in it. You have to separate ourselves. And Mississippi campaign, right, talking about going to no damn Africa. You can separate yourself and still the same. You still living the same kind of life, but now you have a level of control. And that's the key. You have no control. So we're talking about all these different things, but we have no control. So we can talk all day, all night. Since we don't have no control, it's going to change. So you have to put yourself in a position where you can begin to control, so that you can make certain laws, so that you can make certain policies that people must obey, so that you can affect the school system, that you teach your children, and things. That's the only way. Because staying in general society, we're going to keep this stuff. I mean, because this stuff, it's not like it happened overnight. We've been living this kind of way, and been doing this way, for hundreds of years, really. You know, live a slave life. That's what's been happening. Right. You slave.
Right. So, and see, why we may not have control as far as government and all that type of shit, but you still do have control over your mind.
Well, see, that's another thing. Not really. Not in general society, you don't, because our children, our people, they are influenced by the movies these people make, the radio, they're growing up in the public school system, even the private school system, because a lot of private school system fill your head with crazy stuff too. They're like, because you go to private school, it's better. They filling your head up with a bunch of stuff also, like a private school. If it's a private school where you just learn what you need to learn, but a lot of these private schools, like they go to the Nation of Islam school, they're going to teach you reading, writing, arithmetic, but they're also going to teach you about Allah and you black man is God and all this other nonsense that I wouldn't want my children to learn. I want them to hear that crap. Once you start hearing that crap,
and now this is where...
Because once you start getting that garbage in your head, it's going to be an influencer. I don't want... See, even myself, I'm still influenced by that religious garbage that I've been taught majority of my life. No, I know that that's not the way to go. I'm still influenced by it. I'm still influenced by it. It's gonna be a part of me to the day I die. I mean, I was raised in it. I was raised in it for half of my life. It's not gonna just go away. But I have it under control.
Right. But let me.
Yeah. We got 5 minutes, and you go ahead and take us.
Well, then let me give my closing speech. Let me give my closing sentiment then.
Yeah.
So my closing sentiment is this: the Black people, for those who got their mind right or who want to get their mind right, who's on the verge of getting their mind right, get your mind right.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, gain true knowledge of self individually before you try to do so externally. Because when you try to do so externally and do so with a group of motherfuckers with different opinions and different ideologies, you're gonna be swayed this way, that way, and then you're gonna get to the point where you're gonna be like, fuck this Black shit, because you're gonna have a lot of Black people that's not really on what they claim that they on, and you know, all type of wishy-washy stuff. So you have to know self internally. The reason why individually, and the reason why I say that is because you hear a lot of these people who claim to have been, you know, for their race, and because they got burned by so many people of their race, they turn against it and become the same coons that the people who burnt them were or are. So, like I say, when you genuinely know who you are, nothing will make you hate you or hate anything that's of you. You just become more aware that everybody is not like you. And therefore, you know how to distance yourself from those who are not of like minds. But yeah, you got to get your mind right.
Okay.
And thank you for having me, Angel. I really appreciate this. I really appreciate your platform.
Well, everybody appreciate you too, Sister Deity.
Listen, Angel, you are what's popping. I don't know why your channel ain't bigger than what it is, but it's gonna get there. But you know, people don't really like the truth. People like to be entertained because most people don't like their life, so they try to escape, a form of escapism. But yeah, I really respect that you let me come on here and let me speak my mind. And I don't want to say that you agree with me, but I mean, to certain extents, you do, and certain things you don't, but you do so respectfully on all ends. Whether you do or you don't, you do so respectfully. So I appreciate that.
Well, I tell you, like we talked before, and matter of fact, we didn't talk earlier today, but I think we talked last night before I got sleepy. I'm an old man. I gotta get my sleep. You know, I can't stay up all night like y'all young folks. I did at one time. I could stay up to 2, 3 in the morning, get right back up at 6, and go to work for 8 hours or whatever. But like I told you, you have learned a lot, and you've matured, and your thinking process has changed a lot since the first time that we met. And I don't know what it is about me, but we had our back and forth or whatever, but you keep coming back and that's because, you know, somewhere in there was changing. You know, this is the real deal. You know, this is the fire. You know, this is the truth. You have to keep coming back to get some of this good stuff. This is it. We got to keep it real. And there's a time and place for everything.
You're hilarious.
You know, we can, like, you know, you can be Christian, but you can be real. You got to know how to separate what we need to do from your belief. And you was talking about that, I think that last night, because we was talking about, because I know about your religious belief, but you was telling me how that's detrimental, really. You know, I just keep that to myself. I got other things. I got better fish to fry. Go here, because if I lean more to my belief system, it's going to put me in a place where I'm not really, I'm not attracting people to the real message that needs to be heard. So yeah, so your understanding about things have changed since the first time I met you. I mean, you're still a little cusser in the mouth. You know, you still do that. You know? Not as bad as you used to, really.
I'm working on it. My spirit, my soul don't even feel right when they be coming out, but for whatever.
Yeah, but like you say, I mean, it's just not good. It's part of you. It's not gonna just leave. I mean, but
my soul.
Yeah.
You heard me?
I mean, you've been doing it for so long, just like I've been a Christian and a Muslim for most of my life. That's gonna be part of me to the day that I die. You know, a lot of things that's been part of me, but I have that under control. I understand. I grab what benefits those things in it that benefit me. I know how to separate, like they said, the meat from the bone. I know how to separate things. And unfortunately, like we say, most people don't want to hear and can't accept reality.
They damn sure.
So don't expect our numbers to be very, very high because they want us to cuddle them. You're a king and you're a queen, and the sun gonna burn up the white man, and you don't have to do no kind of work. The sun gonna burn up the white man. You're gonna come in and you're gonna rule the earth again. You know, all these old nonsense fairy tale stuff. It's not that easy. The sun is not gonna burn white man no time soon.
Angel, your numbers gonna go up. I'm gonna tell you why your numbers gonna go up, right? Because, and this might sound, in certain types of dialogue, it's always best when you have more than one person aboard. When you speak in truth, it's always best to have more than one person aboard. When you speak in that bullshit, that buffole, you could do that by yourself all day. So you're definitely going to start to see an increase in your viewership for sure.
Well, I tell you another thing, another problem I got is that I'm probably getting more views and whatever than what's being put on here. Google messes with my view. When I first came to YouTube and nobody even know who I was, I could easily get 300 views. And if you go back right here on this channel, go through my videos, you will see that I was doing 300, 400, 1,000 views. Then all of a sudden it just dropped down to 50, 100. All of a sudden, how is that possible? That's because Google is doing that. They're doing it on purpose. But it don't make no difference because I'm going to talk. I don't give a damn if it's just one. I don't give a damn if nobody listens. I'm still going to be out here talking.
And another thing too, Angel, people, even those who are not receptive of truth, they still feel uncomfortable. But
yeah. And maybe that's the reason why some of them, even though they might not agree with me or whatever, they still just got to come and listen to whatever we're talking about. You know, they just got to do that.
Right.
Because, I mean, we're keeping it real. And one day you're going to realize that real is the best way to go. I mean, truth hurts. Things hurt. But it's better, just like if it's a woman or a man that you love, whatever, but they don't love you. It's better for them to just tell you outright, I don't want nothing to do with you, blah, blah, go about your business. It's better for them to hurt your feelings right then and there than them lead you on to make you believe that one day you're going to get with them, and it's never going to happen. You know, this lovey-dovey thing that people think in this country, everybody going back to Africa, we gonna all the melting pot, all these delusions that that's not gonna happen. You know, Jesus is not coming back because he never existed to come back. It's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. But that's how it's called escapism, and that's how a lot of us. That's how we're making it. Drugs, alcohol, religious dogmatism. That's how we making it. That's how we survive. So, on that note, let me roll out of here. And I want to thank Sister Deity for bringing this subject to us. And we got a question here. I wish Deity was here. What are your thoughts on reptilians who rule the world theory? That's more fairy tale stuff. That's why it's called a theory. Theory is what we assume, what we believe, what we think. And you know, there's no evidence about some reptilians. You know, we are mammals. The human beings are mammals. You can't get a reptilian, you can't get a reptile out of a mammal. So I don't know where all this stuff is coming from. Now, some of it comes from simply because of how our brains are formed. And they talk about the reptilian part of the brain. Well, if we go all the way back to our development from a sperm and egg, whatever, you will see that most life forms, the embryos almost look the same. And we develop in water. But a turtle becomes a turtle, and a snake becomes a snake, a chicken becomes a chicken, a dog becomes a dog, whatever, whatever. That's just part of the evolutionary process that life on this planet has gone through. But just because my brain or parts of my brain look something like some type of reptile or a snake, that has nothing to do with me. That's just the evolutionary process of life on this planet, life forms on this planet, and everybody start going their own separate ways. You don't have scaly skin. Matter of fact, we're not even cold-blooded. We're mammals. We're warm-blooded. Reptiles are cold-blooded. That's the reason why they live as long as they can. And that's the reason why they can go without food and water for a long period of time, because they don't have to maintain 98.6 or 90.7, whatever that is, that mammals have to do. Mammals and reptiles, amphibians, two different kinds of life forms. If reptilians ruled the world, they was dinosaurs or something. I don't know. I can't talk about what I have no idea. I'm just telling you, just throwing some thoughts around. I cannot comment on some stuff I really don't know, and there's no evidence, there's no proof. It's just some more crap that we can argue and debate on, rather than liberating yourself out of this hellhole once and for all. That's the only thing on my mind. And if reptilians, if y'all reptilians is listening to me, why don't you come out your damn hole or on your spaceship, wherever the hell you are, come and help us get out of this damn slave plantation. I believe you have the most powerful voice in the world, just my opinion. Thank you. I thank you for being sincere. And the channel is called Sincere. All right, on that note, let me get out of here. Thank you, Sincere Twin. Who else was in the chat room? I forgot who else was in the chat room. Let me scroll a little bit. Let me see. Soul Brother Twin, always here. Of course, I can't forget them. Oh, Brother Phil is in the. Somebody else, Brother Phil. Wasn't somebody else in the chat room too? And they gone. Oh, even shout out to the person that said, "Be a man, be a man." Whatever that channel was, True G, or whatever his name was. Thank you, everybody in the chat room. Thank you for those who are listening. Thank you for all those on Facebook who will be listening, and those who will be listening to this broadcast later. I really appreciate it. Until next time, take care of yourself. Be safe. And again, I want to thank Sister Deity for bringing this subject to us tonight. And I'm very sure we'll continue to see her on the platform more and more in the future, because she did tell me this channel is going to grow. So I assume she's going to be here to help make it grow. On that note, as Dark Cornelius used to always say as imparted, I wish us love, peace, and soul.
I expect I'll have difficulty with that.
seem to have misjudged myself.